Good morning from Montrose Oldham St Andrew's Church, and welcome to our short thought for the day. We all like our freedom to get out and about, to go where we want, when we want, to spend time with whom we want. We don't take kindly to being hemmed in. Do you remember the early weeks of COVID? We were told to stay at home unless to do essential work or shopping or once a day for exercise. A bit later on we could go up to 5 miles from home, but there were restrictions on how many people we could meet up with and whether that was outside or inside. I know that the rules were well intended, but there's no doubt that they were a severe restriction on our freedom. And as such, emergency powers ought to be limited to just that, emergencies. Jesus met a woman who had been severely crippled for 18 years. Not only would she have suffered physically, almost certainly she would have been unable to work, would have struggled to make ends meet, and could well have been shunned socially. Jesus healed her, and in so doing freed her from all sorts of things which had bound her. Today, where we pride ourselves on our freedom, there are far too many people bound by poverty, injustice, homelessness, discrimination, by war and violence, drugs, greed, and so much more. How are people to be set free? Humanly speaking, it can appear to be impossible, but nothing is impossible with God, and it usually begins with Him changing the hearts and attitudes of a few people so that they become less selfish and more loving. We need to be open to God's leading so that we are agents for freedom. But freedom has two aspects. We usually focus only on one, freedom from. We think of freedom as being set free from things that bind us, make life miserable or even oppressive. But the Bible sees another side to freedom, freedom for. Jesus sets us free from the things that binds us so that we can enjoy the fruits of faith and His blessings. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and a whole lot more. Things that just don't seem attainable when we're bound. Jesus doesn't just want us to be free from sin and sorrow, from hurt and hatred. He wants to put something very positive in its place, and that is love and a loving relationship with Him and all who love Him. We don't earn that, He gives it to us freely. Freedom isn't just something we have, it's something to be used. Whether that is getting out and about to places only fairly recently we were told we weren't allowed to go, or whether it's living life in step with a loving God, rather than being controlled by selfish desires, others' manipulation, or the many pressures placed upon us. Jesus sets us free. Free from bad things, yes, but free for good too. Thanks for joining us. May the Lord bless you. Amen.